This cave extends underneath the desert.
Aye. A refuge for the Dark Elves, by the looks of it. One of the few remaining now that they're barred from the temple. Perhaps we'll find Atreus' wounded animal down here.
Lead the way, Kratos. I trust you to not get us lost on the ground. These poor elves, blinded by hate, lashing out at everything and everyone for their fate.
They will not listen to reason. Combat is unavoidable.
Oh, trust me, I know. Still, I wish it were not the case.
Patience. A virtue or a threat?
Depends on the reader.
This creature Atreus heard, why wait until now to free him?
It was not a priority.
We were too busy attempting to stave off Ragnarok to indulge in any desert dalliances.
Shame. I imagine Atreus would have enjoyed a quest to free an injured animal.
Yes, he would have.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to twist the knife.
You did not. Atreus has chosen his path. I trust him to be safe.
you! Incoming! Confidence with my own son when he was Atreus' age. Baldur craved adventure, but with the words of the Norns repeating in my head.
Your worry consumed you, as my rage once did to me.
You overcame it, eventually.
Thanks to Atreus. And his mother.
Yes. Perhaps if Odin had loved his children as much as he loved using them, both would still be with us.
Behind you!
Take it off, man! You've got this!
Atreus reminds me more of Freyr in his youth than of Baldur. His sensitivity, his compulsion to help any and all in need.
That is his mother's influence. Despite all attempts to train him otherwise, Atreus was eager to help lost spirits or run errands for the dwarves during our travels together.
Faye's influence runs deeper than that. Why do you think you're the one assaulting a cave full of hostile dark elves to save a wounded creature?
Brother! The wee bastard's about to explode!
See that explosive? Setting it off would help.
Excursions like this once served as training for Atreus, or an excuse to gather resources while testing his abilities. But I made him a promise. His voice as my guide.
And his voice told you to come out here?
He would approve. Strange that means more to me now than it did before he left.
You've said it yourself. Atreus takes after his mother. His approval is her approval. Switching! The Alpha!
Right there! Left flank!
I haven't seen one since I was a child.
Great, Gefyun's ghost! That's the largest bloody half-goof I've ever laid eyes on.
That howling sounds familiar.
It's the Song of the Sands. They don't normally sing like this underground.
That must be the cause of the storm.
Aye. Judging by all this hive matter weighing it down, it's been trapped here for dozens of winters.
There must be a way to cut it loose.
I'd wager that there's nothing here a well-placed throw of the axe can't solve.
If we can clear those rocks away, we might get the right angle. That helped. We've cut it loose, but it can't seem to escape.
Much of the hive matter is gone. We can free it from the surface now.
How in the realms did they capture such a large one?
Halfgriffers are known to burrow, so I'd hesitate to place full blame on our Dark Elf friends.
Even though it's bound by their hive?
Hive matter doesn't belong to the Dark Elves, any more than the light belongs to the Light Elves. It's just another of Alfheim's natural resources. One the elves have used since the time of their ancestors. And while the Light Elves seem keen to banish the hive over on their side, the Dark Elves make effective use of it out here in the Barrens.
But if this is true, are we doing more harm than good by destroying this hive?
You wish to leave the creature enslaved?
No. Freyr would have wanted us to do everything in our power to restore this realm. We will do it.
Here! You should be able to cut this part away and free the half-goofa!
Never imagined I'd see a half-goofa fly again. Can't believe the lad missed this.
The storm is gone. The Song of the Sands has returned to Alfheim, albeit somewhat diminished from how I remember it as a child.
Atreus will be glad to hear it is no longer in pain.
You look forward to telling him.
One day, yes.
You gave him a gift, allowing him to walk his own path. I know that wasn't easy.
I know you cared for him as well. You have always done right by Atreus.
He is the best of us.
Well, nice to be able to have a real conversation out here for once.
Mimir, there's something I wanted to ask you about. Hildisvini told me about your visit to secure Hell's army, but was reluctant to elaborate when it came to negotiating with Hrassfelder.
Ah, yes. Well, I can see why he'd hold off on such a subject until he saw if we survived the battle.
Wait. Let us look this way.
Much of the sand has been cleared away, but another storm rages beyond that pass, which must mean...
Another half-goofa!
Meki. I remember when Freyr and I traveled to this realm as children. The desert was healthy and full of life back then. I can't help but fear that era has ended for good and our efforts here are futile.
It's a fair concern. Healing this land will take more than a pair of singing Halfgoofer. But I have to believe, in the long run, we're doing right by Alfheim. Well, best we start looking for a way underground.
Keep a lookout for a cave!
By the elves for my brother. He must have found it too painful to keep.
Jewelry.
Oh? Put it on one of my horns. Let's see if I can pull it off.
No.
Well, knowing the elves, there are probably more tributes to find.
An elven library.
An archive of knowledge.
No sign of the Light Elves.
For now.
Maybe they've left for the day, and we can browse at our leisure.
Look here.
What's that?
A diagram for a sword hilt.
Perhaps we should show it to one of the dwarves. They'll know what to do with it.
These texts alone are not enough to end the Elven War. But restricting their access only serves those who wish to prolong it.
Taking a page out of Odin's book.
Aye. Quite the advantage for the Light Elves.
This book is sealed, but there is an inscription. Consul.
Bigbear spoke of an exile of the same name. Odds are he'd like a gander at that particular text.
All this knowledge of their ancestors, their shared history, poetry, just sitting here, forgotten. What a waste.
Ah, it appears the librarian would like a word.
Lata Framborg.
Sounds like she wants that journal back.
No.
Shield strike!
Alpha!
Behind you! Incoming! I felt that one, brother. Use a shield strike, brother!
They're healing!
Leosafa. Thought. Megivita. Helga Brotina.
She thinks she's protecting them by hiding all this knowledge away.
The elves do not need protection from their history. They need access. A new chapter awaits.
I'm impressed. Thought you were going to end her.
When last we traveled here, after Faye passed, I killed an elf of great importance. The ramifications were dire for his people. I do not wish to make the same mistake twice.
I see an entrance!
Freyr never saw how poorly these lands fared in his absence, did he? He would appreciate our efforts out here.
Aye. Hearing the Song of the Sands again is a rare privilege, even if it's only a solo act.
Or a duet, once this Hofgufa is free. This architecture. It is not of the Dark Elves.
An abandoned ancient settlement by the looks of it. Built long before the Lightwell. Creation?
More hive matter as well.
I'd say we're on the right track then.
Blocked.
Could I reach it from down here?
This kind of hive material is sensitive to sound. How odd. When I last came here with you and Atreus, I assumed the absence of Alfheim's light was an aberration. I didn't realize it was covered by hive matter.
Aye. And as far as the Dark Elves are concerned, it's that light column in the center of the temple that's the aberration. Just look at how old some of these surfaces are. Far older than the Lightwell, or even our trapped Halfgiffer for that matter.
That's quite the empathetic perspective, Mimir.
Well, dangle from a burly god's backside for a few winters, and you'll find yourself looking for all sorts of new perspectives.
More hive, but denser. Well, there you go.
The Alpha! Enemies to your left!
What's your left?
Light elves?
Quick ball of light coming your way!
The Alpha! The Alpha!
Impressive!
Light elves don't often travel underneath the barrens, do they?
Territory changes hands often in Alfheim. Or so it appears.
Big Veer did mention that these ruins have historical significance for the Light Elves. I assume they're only here to keep intruders out.
Well, at least they tried.
I suspect the corpse below would disagree.
Look there. That hive doesn't like sound, remember?
Good eye. Let's continue, shall we? right, brother!
I hope freeing these Hofgufas will allow them to breed again. It was a dazzling display once. The skies of Alfheim filled with their song.
I imagine it's the lack of fresh light that's caused this pair to grow abnormally large. No use in having babies if there's nothing for them to feed on.
Trying to protect their children from a harsh world. I can relate. I wonder if these two comprehend the choice they face once free.
What choice do you speak of?
The life cycle of the Hofgufa. In order to breed, they must pass on their light to their children.
And without light, they will die.
I suppose that's all any of us can hope for in the end. That our death has purpose. That we can live on through our children. Given another chance, I know what choice I will make. Good. Almost there. Well done. Time to set it loose.
Aye. Back to the surface then. You're on fire, Kratos! Give him back!
Used in many of Freyr's blessings, I imagine.
The fate of these creatures, it reminds me of a story.
Does it?
There once was a blacksmith whose king commanded him to construct a box that could contain all the evils of the world. But no metal could hold such power. So the blacksmith used the flame of...
Is this a story meant to ease my grief?
Perhaps it is just a story. A way to pass the time.
I appreciate the sentiment, but... Well, your stories...
What about my stories?
I wouldn't exactly call them a comfort.
Fair. Mimir is the better storyteller.
Now don't sell yourself short, brother. You've come a long way from the days of laconic fables.
It's okay. Finish your story, Kratos.
The blacksmith's daughter was the key to unlocking the box. She died trying to protect her from those who would open it.
Well, at least it's a relatable story.
It appears we've overstayed our welcome in Alfheim.
The Alpha!
Time to end this storm.
Take solace in knowing you did what you thought was best for your son's safety. Even these creatures know. There is little choice for a parent. You are not alone.
I'm not, am I? And now neither are they.
Misty. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Kratos. This land sings once more. We've done good here.
No rush to leave yet, is there? Who knows what kind of adventures await us in our freshly lit barrens?
A monument to Freya. I wonder if he ever saw this.
That's odd. The runes are dark.
I'm grateful to see Freya remembered this way. But what purpose does all this serve?
Difficult to say without an inscription. But it looks like the elves built this place together, light and dark. Which means this would have been their first act of cooperation in generations. A far cry from lasting peace, but perhaps it served as a monument. One that symbolizes the potential for peace.
This statue may have survived Freya's absence, but a truce clearly did not. Monuments are useless to those who ignore their message.
He didn't create a truce to defend his godhood. His very presence has healed this land and allowed peace to take root. But once he left, he had to have known what would happen.
Well, he had good reason to leave. And Jackass convinced his sister to marry a madman.
These crystals contain their own life.
You're right. Normally we'd have to provide our own. Perhaps slotting a crystal on the opposite side could shed some light on this mystery.
You said monuments are useless. Why restore this one?
It was hidden for some time. Perhaps now it can serve as a reminder.
Aye. Nothing reminds people of their history like chiseled, well-lit marble. like we can read the inscription now as well. In honor of the Enlightened One, may his gift of light shine eternal. Ah, gift of light.
Light from the crystals. It is in the sand now.
Would you look at that? Freyr's gift endures after all. Or should I say, his presence?
You are not funny.
Actually here. The peace was fragile. Surely a bit of extra light in the desert isn't enough to make it last.
Before I met Faye, I could not imagine a life of peace. After her death. Travels to Jotunheim. I found peace on my own. It remains my responsibility to make it last.
I only hope his guidance will last this time.
We will see. But he has given them a chance.
Behind you, brother! Bad showing them!
Light elf architecture. It's massive.
Locked. It requires 2 keys.
What are they keeping back there?
That's the beauty of a locked door. It could be anything. Monsters, treasure. Knowing our luck, it'll be a bit of both.
Behind you! Watch out!
You're on fire, Kratos. It will pass.
Yelpa!
can bring these two animals back to Vanaheim, or Midgard even. Becky and Spanna could use the company. We have kennels.
It would not go well for them. Once a predator becomes accustomed to a land, it is cruel to move them.
I suppose you're right. It just seems lonely out here.
It is peaceful. They have each other. It is enough.
Another gravestone, like we found while searching for the Norns. But this one's intact.
Aye, and with a keyhole tailor-made for the hilt you took. Tread carefully, brother. Right side! Y'all do the stalling. Nasty hit! Go away, brother! Come on, get up, brother!
Is that all?
Meeting the Lady of the Forge really brought back some memories. I thought it was only in my homeland you'd see such things.
Mermaids who forge weapons.
Aye. I remember very fondly a late nymph named you. Very talented with a sword.
Mimir.
I meant that literally. Shame on you. She made the best swords in all the Isles and had big dreams about what she'd do with them one day. I wonder what became of her.
Close in! Attack!
Right side!
Mimir, do you understand these poems?
Oh, there's always meaning if you look hard enough, brother. It's all in what you bring to it. I must say, I think we make a good team. With my brains, Kratos' brawn, and my lady's,
Wisdom, magic, ability to tolerate you for long periods of time.
I was going to say brutality.
That works.
Or the massive door we found earlier.
That door required 2 keys.
Aye, so it did. Let's keep looking then.
She's gone.
That, or she's hiding again.
It matters not. The knowledge found here will spread. Her work is done.
You know, Freyr loved to breed Gulan pups in Vanaheim. I wonder if these two are the descendants of the Gulan he brought here long ago.
That explains how they got to the desert. Another gift for the Dark Elves.
Maria, what exactly did you promise the large bird in Helheim?
Oh, nothing too horrifying.
Enough. We will continue later. The second key.
Sure enough. It's been a bit since we've unlocked a mysterious door. Excited, brother? Classic. Fair few birds you've hunted. I wonder if it might be worth visiting the Raven Tree. I wonder, how'd these two pups end up yoked to the sled?
Ever try flying in a sandstorm? I imagine Freyr showed the Dark Elves that Gulan could be trained to pull a plow. They must have found new uses for them once the sandstorm arrived. I imagine they're now bred to aid in traveling the surface. Something is coming, and it's not happy. What on earth was a drake doing back there?
Your guess is as good as mine. Imprisoning a drake. Can't decide whether to be impressed or horrified.
Either way, it is over now.
Circling back to the topic of prophecies brought about by the efforts to avoid them, I think I can recall such a story as you mentioned, brother. A Greek tale for the stage. Rather lurid, but very popular. You know the one?
Every Greek knows the tragedy of the Theban king.
Yeah, word gets around about that sort of thing. As I was saying before about Klasvelka, it's just that she'd like to retire.
Retire? Hell's Eagle wants to
But
retire.
enough of that for now.
No more need one. What?
There he is, the
forget
man
that
who
I've been
tamed
around?
Garm. 1,000 congratulations. But putting all that aside
There's
for
one
the
thing
moment,
I'd like to know.
Obviously, the time has come to talk about me.
it most certainly has not.
What? Why not? How dare you belittle my accomplishments?
I apologize for arrogance. His volume has only increased over the years.
And why shouldn't it? I single-handedly take care of the ding-dang world tree. Without your boy here, the realms would rot off the branches before you can say ingratitude.
He does have a point. Tending to the world tree all on your own, it's no small task.
Of course, he's got a point, my dear Mimir. But singing your own praises, it's awfully gauche, isn't it?
Who the hell else is gonna sing them?
And your question was?
Oh, I've utterly forgotten.
Splendid. Until next time, then. I suppose I needn't take up more of your time.
Now, I know it's hard being here without them, but I'm sure old Brock would be glad you're here. And I'm sure Sindri, wherever he is,
Time to feed
would
my plants.
appreciate you tidying up after yourself. Now, go ahead. Oh, it's real good for wood. Better for bone. Now, those are some angry knives. Hiya, Freya. How you doing?
I'm fine.
On that, madam, we are agreed.
What? Oh. Oh, thank you?
Anytime.
I wonder if Sindri will ever come back. Can this